Hi guys, welcome and who dat? I'm Joe, and I'm here to bring you my recap of the Week 17 matchup between our beloved Bless You Boys in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints, as we travel to Philadelphia to take on the dreaded, evil, hated Eagles, the consensus number one team in the conference. There was really no way that the Saints should win this game, and the Saints won. Final score, Saints 20, Eagles 10. This was an impressive win for our team, maybe the signature win of the year. A lot of the shine has been taken off of this victory, however, as our playoff hopes, shortly after this victory, slipped away. Tampa Bay ends up beating Carolina, meaning we cannot win the division. And that slimmest of slim wild card hope went away when Green Bay defeated Minnesota this weekend. So the Saints are not going to be in the postseason. And our last game of the year next week will be our first meaningless game. It wasn't a very fun ride, quite honestly, to get to this point. But we have won 3 games in a row. Very likely could win next weekend. There's something to be said for that. But we have to put it all in perspective and remember how we got here, which makes this win even more improbable for the Saints. The Saints were dominant in the first half. We outscored them 13-0, and we left some points on the field. The first drive we had was a 16-play drive that went 75 yards, and we burned 9 minutes off the clock. We score a touchdown, and we go up 7-0. The Eagles get the ball for the first time, and they go 3-and-out. We ended up punting again. The Eagles go 3-and-out again. This time we have a sustained drive in a field goal. The Eagles go 3-and-out again and have to punt. We get another sustained drive and score a field goal. The Eagles get the ball for a fourth time and go 3-and-out and have to punt. Now, the interesting thing is the Eagles punted 6 times in the game, and none of those punts were down inside the 20. By contrast, Gillikin for the Saints punted 6 times ultimately, and 5 of his were down inside the 20. Both teams ended up with the same amount of yards, 313. Strange anomaly, but that part of it was, the Eagles were playing from within their own 20 every time, and we had better field position. That 9-minute drive to start the game, really set the tone. The defense, besides the third quarter, came to play. The third quarter was the only quarter in which the Eagles decided to try to run the ball, and their running game was very effective. They only ran it 15 times, but they were averaging 4.5 yards a carry, including Miles Sanders. He had only 12 carries, but he had 61 yards, 5.1 average. And I think that was the big reason the Eagles lost this game. They were simply, ironically, in this season, simply outcoached by the Saints. That and the fact that Jalen Hurts didn't play at quarterback. I said in the preview that was going to be the way the Saints win, is we can hold their offense down because Minshew's a better quarterback to go up against than Hurts, who puts a hurting on us every time he plays us. But every team suffers injuries. The Saints were missing 2 starting offensive linemen to start the game, and then starting right tackle, perennial Pro Bowler Ryan Ramczyk gets hurt in the game. And the Eagles ended up with 7 sacks. Now, this is the 5th game in a row where they've had at least 6 sacks. I'm sure they've gone up against much better offensive lines than us in that 5-game span. And I think if we would have had all of our starters on offensive line, the Eagles would have probably still gotten 4 or 5 sacks. But yeah, they managed to get 7. We got 6, including 3 from Cam Jordan, old man Cam. And he set the record, most sacks in Saints franchise history. He's got Ricky Jackson beat by a half a sack. All right, guys, let's get into these stats. All right, quarterback Andy Dalton, 18 of 22, 204 yards, 1 interception. The interception came at the end of the first half. We were driving to score again. And the Eagles got the ball and that half ended up ending. They had a 5-play drive. They managed to get a first down, the first first down of the game on that drive right before the half ended. Yeah, they were down 13-0. Andy Dalton was 13 out of 13 before he threw that interception. Great game, consistent by Andy Dalton. Good job. He was sacked 6 times. He didn't take chances. That interception was actually a really good play by the cornerback in zone. And taking 6 sacks is awful. But when you're winning the game like we were, with the defense playing like we were, it's just as well as throwing the ball away. He ends up 18 of 22. Taysom Hill threw the ball twice, completed both of them for 24 yards. He was also sacked. Overall, a great game for the passing. 31 plays, 7 sacks. But effective enough. Running the ball, Alvin Kamara had 16 carries for 74 yards. He averaged 4.6 yards a carry. This was a good day for Kamara. He wasn't involved in the passing game as much as I thought he could have been, especially in the second half. Taysom Hill had his career best 14 carries for 46 yards. It was 3.3 yards a carry. Um, Hill is kind of like in between the tackles, smash him, get the first down, a big play waiting to happen. He scored a touchdown. So even though that 3.3 isn't sexy, those 14 carries and the fact that that first drive, 16 plays, we had to pick up a fourth down on that drive, which we did. We needed 2 yards, and Taysom ended up getting 8. And then the next carry, he broke the play into the end zone. So, you get an 8-yard carry, you get a 1-yard carry, but you score a touchdown. I cannot complain about the use of Kamara and Hill in this game. I say Kamara could have got more targets in the passing game, but when you're 18 of 22, can't really complain about that either. Eno Benjamin had 2 carries for 10 yards. Adam Prentice had that all-important fullback run for 2 yards and a first down. The man always gets first downs. Dalton also ran the ball twice for -2 yards. So overall, we throw the ball 31 times and we run the ball 35 times for 130 yards on the ground, 3.7-yard average total. It was good. I cannot complain about the play calling in this one. We leaned on the run. The defense came to play. The offense was efficient, and we closed the game out. That last drive where we ran the clock out, that was an 8-play drive, and took 3.5 minutes. So that's how we want to. That's how, if we're going to run the ball and play good defense and be conservative, that's how you're going to have to close games out. Receiving the ball, Rashid Shaheed, once again, he's proven that he belongs on this team. 6 catches on 6 targets for 79 yards. Leads the team. I believe this is the 3rd game in a row. Amazing. Juwan Johnson, 7 targets, 5 catches, 62 yards. He's become our starting tight end and a good one. Chris Olave, 5 targets, 4 catches, 42 yards. He had most of that in the first drive. It seemed like he was going to blow up. But that interception came on a target to Olave in the first quarter or first half. And then after that, I think Dalton was just looking for other places to go. Olave seems to get open quite a bit. Troutman at tight end, 1 target, 1 catch, 16 yards. Taysom Hill had a catch for 9 yards on 1 target. Benjamin had 1 catch on 1 target for 9 yards. Alvin Kamara, 1 target, 1 catch, 7 yards. And Adam Prentice had 1 catch on 1 target for 4 yards. Overall, I got to say, the offense was productive. We punted the ball 5 times in the second half, and then ended up having that 8-play drive to end the game. We managed to score a touchdown in the fourth quarter due to a Marshon Lattimore interception return, the first defensive touchdown for the team, the first interception by a cornerback on the team. So yeah, the offense let us down quite a bit. You're playing with a 3-point lead in the fourth quarter, and you're not able to get anything done on offense. I have to call it like I see it. A lot of that has to do with being so conservative or limited to a degree with Dalton, and the unimaginative play calling that surfaces from time to time with Carmichael. But the hero of the game was the defense. After allowing 10 points in the third quarter, we ended up shutting this team down. They went for it once on fourth down. No, yeah, they didn't get a fourth down. They tried, couldn't get it. Minshew fumbled twice, but the Eagles recovered both of them. He finishes with 274, a touchdown, and an interception. They were so productive the week before against Dallas passing the ball that I think they thought they could just come up against us and pass the ball and have no issues. They end up throwing the ball 38 times, getting sacked 6, and only running the ball 15. That was their downfall. That and incompletions. I mean, Devontae Smith had 9 catches, but he was targeted 13 times. A.J. Brown only had 4 catches. He was targeted 9 times. He ends up with 97 yards, but 78 comes on 1 play. And that was the only time the Eagles had a big play against us, besides Miles Sanders running crazy in the third quarter, which the Eagles should have kept doing. A.J. Brown had that 170-something yard touchdown reception and made Debo look like an idiot. And other than that, the Eagles never even entered into the red zone. We were 1 of 3 in the red zone and got 2 field goals and a touchdown. We finished with a time of possession difference of almost exactly a quarter, 14 minutes. And that's because of what we did to them in the first half, where we forced 4 3-and-outs, and then they run the clock out on their last possession of the half. So, when you're dominating a team like that, like we were in the first half, yeah, it felt comfortable. I knew at any time a big play could turn this thing around, and Marshon Lattimore provides that big play with the interception return. Defensively, they do great. I didn't write the defensive stats down. I can talk about how Daniel Sorensen was out of position on that A.J. Brown reception as well, but he finished with a bunch of tackles. Cameron Jordan had 3 sacks. Granderson had a sack and a half, and Caden Ellis, once again, another sack and a half. Ellis has 7 sacks on the year now. I think Ellison and Werner are the future at linebacker for this team. Ellis is a restricted free agent, so we're gonna have to sign that dude in the off season. So overall, I want to say a great win for this team, even though it comes at our missing our opportunity at the playoffs. Next week, yes, I will be doing a preview and a review of the meaningless game against Carolina. The cat's going crazy over here. And subscribe to Rosenfield 10 to get those. And I'll talk to you later. Who dat?